What is up, y'all? It is Dr. Tyler Kalasi, Doctor of Physical Therapy and Strength Coach. And today we're going to be talking about how to modify that deadlift or hip hinge if you're dealing with back pain. So we've got 5 different modifications that we can go into for the deadlift. The first one is going to be a block or elevated deadlift. The second one is going to be a trap bar deadlift. The third one is going to be a sumo or wide stance deadlift. The fourth is going to be a kickstand deadlift. And the fifth is going to be a top down hinge variation, which isn't a deadlift, but we're still going to accomplish the same thing. The first variation we're talking about today is a block or elevated deadlift. We're going to take the barbell and essentially elevate it to bring it closer to your hips. By elevating the barbell, we shorten the range of motion and we allow you to move that load through a range of motion that's more comfortable for you. As you get stronger or the lower back pain decreases because you're working on it with a physical therapist, a chiropractor, or a specialized coach, you can reduce that depth over time to bring you back to deadlifting from the floor and lifting heavy again. The second variation we've got is a trap bar deadlift. I love the trap bar deadlift even when you're not in back pain because it puts you inside the bar instead of the bar being in front of you. This also brings the weight more towards your center of gravity, which reduces the lever that the lower back and the hips are using, which ultimately makes it a little bit easier for that lower back, takes some strain off the lower back and puts more work or shares the work across the quads and the rest of the legs. The third variation is going to be a sumo or wide stance deadlift. I like this because one, it shortens the range of motion as well. It brings you closer to the ground and allows you to have a slightly more upright torso, which takes some work off the lower back and once again allows you to access that leg strength while you're dealing with that lower back pain. The fourth variation is going to be a kickstand deadlift. The kickstand is nice because one, it forces you to work on a little bit of single leg or single hip strength, which may be playing into your back pain during regular deadlifts, but the change in support or base of support can be somewhat relieving or more comfortable for folks who have some back pain. The last variation is going to be a top-down hinge. Now this isn't really a deadlift, but more so a good morning or a hip hinge. You can load that in a goblet position, you can use a cable or a band. By top down loading that hip hinge, it allows you to set up in a nice stiff, stable position and only go as deep as you feel comfortable, working deeper and deeper over time, instead of starting at the bottom where you're probably already going to be in some discomfort. It's a great way to retrain that hinge if you've been avoiding the deadlift for a while as well, and then you can progress back to that standard deadlift over time. Now, if I was going to recommend what you should start with at this moment, it would probably be the block or elevated deadlift, especially if you're already doing the conventional deadlift. This doesn't change the mechanics very much at all for you. It just reduces that range of motion and you can work your way back down to that floor deadlift over time. The next recommendation would be the trap bar. Simply, it just puts you in a more comfortable position. It changes the deadlift to be a little bit more squat dominant and can be comfortable for a lot of people. Now, these recommendations are of course very general. It would be my additional recommendation to seek out a skilled coach or trainer or physical therapist or chiropractor who can really take you through a in-depth assessment and see what really needs to be done to get that lower back feeling good and you back to lifting nice and heavy. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. If you have any more questions about your specific back pain, you should definitely shoot me an email. I put that in the show notes below. If you have any other questions about deadlifting specifically, certainly drop a comment below as well. Have a good day.